Sunday at 9, right here on Fox 14. A full hour of Family Feud this morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, several residents of Lamar, Missouri are working together towards a plan to help save their city aquatic center. Also, a new sober house in Baxter Springs has one resident concerned about its location.
And we're expecting some rain showers pushing in later this afternoon. I'll have more details in just a bit.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney. 7 o'clock on this fine Tuesday morning.
Yes, it is a great Tuesday morning out there. I know we're going to have some rain chances and it's a little bit chilly, but it's been a great start to the week and we're happy to have Lindsay with us for the rest of the week as Chris takes some time off. So happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here, although it is an early start. I'll get used to it later on this week though, but we do have those rain chances coming in this afternoon and they're going to continue on all the way through Sunday. So yeah, a lot of rain in the forecast.
Absolutely. Well, community members in Lamar, Missouri are rallying together in an effort to show the city how much they want to keep the community aquatic center. This comes after the city announced last month they were accepting bids from engineering companies for the demolition of the aquatic park.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
After years without a drop of water due to safety and maintenance concerns, the Lamar Aquatic Park could very likely be going away.
No action has been taken or selection of an engineering firm has been made at this point. And the expectation would be to select an engineering firm and then they would oversee soliciting bids for the actual demolition.
However, there are community members in Lamar who don't want to see the pool go away. People like Susan Rolland.
Our park is just so beautiful, and I think keeping our pool there and alive would just improve the quality of life for the citizens and all. It's not just for kids, it's for all ages. Swimming and water is so good for everyone.
Susan was a swim coach for Lamar and has been an advocate for the pool, alongside Debbie Little. Both of them say they want to work with the city in hopes to salvage some, if not the whole, aquatic facility.
We have a really great opportunity to do something great for our community right now, and we don't want to butt heads with the city at all. We want to be a helpmate to them. We want to take our ideas and what we'd like to see as a community and give them a plan of action that we'd like to see put in place by our city officials.
Mayor Olchin says the aquatic park was something he wanted to address when he was elected, but has concerns about the cost of keeping the current facility.
Those numbers came back very high, and no action has been taken on that inspection. So there's lots of ideas and thoughts out there about what we need to do next.
As it stands right now, the fate of this pool and the surrounding facility is still unknown. But the mayor says that him and the city council are going to do what they feel is best for the community. But community members want to make sure that that means keeping this pool. Reporting in Lamar, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The advocate group will meet again next week to discuss further plans. You can learn more about their plans on our website at koamnewsnow.com.
Well, pretty awesome.
Yes, we'll see what happens with that. It's great to see community support for things, and you know, even if it doesn't turn out, at least they came together.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, it is National Picnic Day, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have some rain chances moving into the area. Now, temperatures across the region in the upper 50s. Still pretty sunny out there. We've got a nice sunrise, but we do see clouds start to increase, and we also see winds pretty fast out of the south, about 20-25 miles per hour, but we do see gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. So it's a bit breezy this morning, and clouds do move in, but starting off really gorgeous out there right now. Temperatures in the lower to mid 50s and even getting up there, Chanute 58, Parsons 55, so we're warming up slowly but surely. Now, getting into the mid 60s by noon today, but it will be pretty cloudy across the region. We'll see some isolated showers pushing in the early afternoon hours. And here are those clouds. You can see them pushing through just ahead of that cold front. Now, north of Kansas City saw some thunderstorms this morning and moving east of Kansas City as well. But if you move just west of it, you'll see those showers. Those are what we're going to expect to be moving into our area, with those thunderstorm chances continuing off to the east. We'll get those shower chances. It'll stall out in those southern counties later on this evening, and they're going to get most of the consistent rainfall tonight. But we'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Carthage police are asking for your help in locating Terry Mitzi. Mitzi is a white 50-year-old female. She's 5'1" and about 120 pounds, with brown eyes and brown hair. She was last seen in the Ozark, Missouri area, possibly heading to Joplin. Mitzi was driving a black and a dark blue 93 Ford Ranger with the Missouri license plate 6CCL86. If you have any information regarding Mitzi's whereabouts, please contact the Carthage police at 417-237-7200 or 417-359-9100. Baxter Springs, Kansas officials yesterday broke ground for a new firehouse and hosted a news conference to announce federal funding for the project. $1 million in federal funds will be freed up to replace the city's current firehouse, which is more than 100 years old. Fire officials say they've outgrown the current station and need more space.
It will. Having a bigger fire station allows us to grow with the demand of the fire service. The fire service is ever changing and the equipment gets larger. We need more equipment to do more of the job, and having a place to store it is key.
Former firefighters were on hand for the ceremony, and the federal money comes from fiscal year 2024 appropriations package passed by Congress and signed into law last month. A nonprofit sober living ministry is planning to transform one home in Baxter Springs, Kansas. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more about the proposed new sober living house and some community response.
Upright House Ministries is building its first sober living home for men on Park Avenue in Baxter Springs, Kansas. The Christian nonprofit organization plans to house 6 men who are serious about living sober.
Have at least 30 days clean, go through an extensive interview process and background checks. And we want to give them a safe place to come in, be able to rest and recover from the life that's been on the streets.
One neighbor passed out flyers to residents concerned about the house location. The sober living home is 300 feet south of an elementary school and a 3-minute walk from a restaurant bar that you can see from the porch.
I kind of questioned the location myself at first, but I work with folks all the time. There are different classes of people in addiction. The people we're going to be working with are guys who are really trying to get their life together. I wouldn't dream of bringing somebody in here just straight detox off the street and put them in the neighborhood, because that would be wrong. We're going to be good neighbors.
Another neighbor who lives 2 houses down says he's happy a sober living house is opening up.
A lot of hate talk against the house, afraid that criminals are going to be near our children, and these kind of criminals aren't necessarily child offenders, so we don't need to worry about them. People trying to get clean are, people we need to have around.
The Upright House Ministry president saw the online discussions. He wants residents to know that the 6 men living there will be serious about sober living.
Folks that are getting really upset don't really understand who we're talking about. They think that it's going to be like Skid Row. That cannot happen in the neighborhood, and it will not happen in the neighborhood.
Reporting in Baxter Springs, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The resident who made the flyer plans to speak at the city council meeting to address the placement of the sober living home. The Baxter Springs City Council meeting is going to be held today at 7 p.m. And those are our top stories for this half hour. Coming up next, Jasmine Kyle of the SEK Humane Society is with us this morning. She wants to introduce you to a potential friend. But first, here's a live look of Cunningham Park for National Picnic Day at the park.
From the moment you call.
Quality, compassionate, affordable care.
Welcome back. Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society is with us this morning, and she brought Oscar with her this morning. Welcome, Jasmine and Oscar.
Hello. Yeah, so this is Oscar. Oscar is a 3-year-old pitty mix, and he is a sweet old little baby doll.
Yes.
So Oscar is a brindle pitty. So brindle, he's got these really cool tan tiger stripes. Now, he was at Frontenac Mining Days about a year ago, and he was giving hugs and kisses to kids. He is neutered, microchipped, heartworm tested, and right now we're doing a really cool special. It's called Spring Into Adoption. Right now, all of our adult dogs over 1 year of age are only $10. So Oscar's usual adoption fee is $65. He's only 10, and that is going to go all the
good boy.
Yeah, and that's going to go all the way till this Sunday, April 28th.
Lovely, wonderful. And so for those who are considering adoption for the first time, maybe want to come and get Oscar, what should they know? Any advice that you have for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have another dog at home, we do meet and greets. So what you'll do is you'll submit an application online. If you're rent, we got to talk to landlord, of course. And then after that, if you have another dog at the household, we are going to go ahead and do a meet and greet out at the shelter, see how they play, they get along, and then you can either adopt or we do foster to adopt. So if you want to foster them for a little bit and see how they do, we absolutely allow that. That's absolutely okay.
Wonderful. And then any criteria, how long does the adoption process take?
It just depends. Sometimes the landlords are one of our biggest barricades, unfortunately, because it takes a little bit to get back with them. If anything, if you're thinking about a dog, the biggest tip I can give you is call your landlord, touch base and let them know, like, hey, I'm currently in this procedure. I'd love to get a new dog. Is this okay? Or a cat for that matter. And that way they kind of know, like, heads up, I'm going to go out this day. If you can have your phone nearby, that would be great.
Absolutely. Well, be sure to head over to the SEK Humane Society if you want to take home Oscar or another furry friend. Thank you so much, Jasmine and Oscar, for being with us this morning. And you can visit the SEK Humane Society Facebook to see other animals that are available for adoption. Stick around. We'll be right back with more news and weather after this.
Sunny outside. We do see some clouds starting to push in, and luckily not as cold as it was yesterday. We started off around 37 degrees yesterday morning, and we also had a frost advisory. We did warm up to the lower 70s. We're going to warm up to the lower 70s again today, but temperatures starting off around the low 50s, so nearly 20 degrees warmer than what it was yesterday. Stockton still about 50 degrees, but 58 in Chanute, so we're warming up slowly but surely across the region. Now, winds are gusting up to about 25-30 miles per hour this morning. This is ahead of the cold front we have moving in this afternoon. Now, the cold front's not going to be too drastic, not dropping those temperatures down, but it will bring a few rain showers to the region, and after it passes, winds shift out of the north and they'll lighten up about 5-10 miles per hour. Now, we do have clouds moving in, and if you can see in those northern counties, a few showers still possibly pushing in. North of Kansas City had some thunderstorms this morning. That's along that cold front. Now, those storms are moving southeast, so we're not going to see those, but we will see a few of those showers pushing in a little bit later on early this afternoon. After that, we're going to have another round of rain early on Wednesday as well. Rain chances continue on for the rest of the week. But what you can expect today, starting off about 57 degrees, cloudy skies as well. Right now, still pretty clear, but we do see those clouds starting to push in, and winds are going to be breezy this morning, gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, after that cold front passes, we'll see a few isolated showers along the frontal boundary, and winds shift out of the north and they'll slow down about 5-10 miles per hour, but we do warm up to the lower 70s. Now, rain chances, can expect a few isolated showers after 11 a.m. and continuing until about 4 to 5 p.m. After that, we'll have a few more rounds of rain Tomorrow morning, a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two, but main threat still sticking around until Thursday. Then we're going to see those thunderstorm chances spark up Thursday, and then a possible alert day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's take a look and see what you can expect today. Those widespread isolated showers across the region, and then right along that frontal boundary, we'll see those shower chances pick up. But like I said, main threat of thunderstorms still off to the east. Then it'll continue on. This front stalls out in those southern counties, so we'll get some more showers sticking around later on in the evening this evening. Now, rain chances continue on again in the morning. We do have those shower chances this afternoon and tonight, and then we'll continue on with rain and thunderstorm chances all the way through the weekend. Now, Elisa will be back with more news after this.
If there's one thing we like, it's Choice Associates. It costs you nothing to see if we can help.
Well, April is Jazz Appreciation Month, and while you may think of Louis Armstrong in New Orleans, we thought we'd go back a little earlier to tell a local story and highlight one of the pioneers coming from Missouri. We have Rafi Andonian with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And jazz is America's classical music.
Yes.
Because of all the different mixtures it pulls together, believe it or not.
Incredible. So can you talk to me a little bit about the origins of jazz music in the United States?
Well, it's exactly what it does. It pulls together these different cultures in the United States, especially European and West African. It does start in New Orleans. You mentioned New Orleans and jazz. That's where you have an amalgamation of different cultures, including from the Caribbean. But then it comes up the Mississippi River and starts to spread throughout various parts of the country, including in this region. And what's interesting about, I think, jazz, it develops over the course of the 19th and early 20th century. So there's different elements that influence it. For example, you have the band music or marching band music from the Civil War in the 1860s. That's pretty popular afterwards. So that brass feel, that brass sound. And then the blues, kind of the rhythm and the sort of soul to it is influenced. But most importantly, it's the ragtime music that's really popular in the late 19th century, which combines its classical and the West African old slave and church songs that are combining. That's what ragtime is. Those influences together create jazz.
So just that melting pot, just like we are in this country. So can you tell me a little bit about how Missouri has contributed to the development of jazz and the pioneers?
So when it comes up the Mississippi, it also goes to St. Louis, Kansas City, even Sedalia in Missouri. And there's a guy named Scott Joplin who's known as the king of ragtime. He's from right here in Missouri, where he's spending most of his time when he's a big hit. He plays at the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. He plays at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. And one of his most famous songs is The Entertainer, which I'll try to hum here for a moment. Let's see. It goes, Now that song is made popular again in the 1970s because there was a revival of Scott Joplin's work in the 70s. There was a movie it was called The Sting, which featured The Entertainer, what I just tried to sing. There also was an opera, which he not only wrote 40+ ragtime songs, but he wrote a ballet and he wrote 2 operas. One of them's lost, but the other one is still available. And that opera is known to be the first one by a black African-American composer, which is pretty cool to think about. So he was a huge hit in the 1890s, and he's the king of ragtime as he's known, and that is what develops. He's a big contributor to jazz, and it takes place right here when he's in Sedalia and in St. Louis, in these kind of going around Missouri, and that's when that big hit happens and goes around the country, and of course the revival in the 1970s. Now, I think of jazz as golden years in 1920s because it's kind of the culmination of the late 19th, early 20th century. He died just before the 1920s, so he didn't quite see that sort of full kind of, coming together, but he contributed, exactly.
Wow, incredible. Well, thank you so much for being with us this
morning. I just had one last thing, since we're in Missouri, I wanted just one more thought, is that if people want to find out more and engage with Scott Joplin's work, they can go to Sedalia and they have the Scott Joplin Ragtime Festival that you can check out. And you can even go to Kansas City, the American Jazz Museum, or go to his house, the Scott Joplin Historic Home, which is a state park now. It's under the state park system in St. Louis. So there are multiple sites throughout Missouri. You can check them out, but you've got to check out the music festival.
Truly ingrained
really
in the
cool
state.
to engage with his music.
Be sure to check that out and stick around. We'll be right back.
Load with a versatile line of implements that work as hard as you do. Bad boy mowers and tractors. Power, performance, attitude.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Elise Noe. Carterville first responders were alerted to a grass fire yesterday afternoon around 3 p.m. The fire was located on the western edge of town and could be seen from Webb City along East Road. A south wind pushed the grass fire north into a densely wooded area. This called for additional help to protect homes along the 400 block of West McKee. Firefighters from Dunaweg, Webb City, Oronogo, Carl Junction, and Tri-Cities responded. By 5:45 p.m., firefighters were still working hot spots, but the fire was all but extinguished. Shortly after 6 p.m., the fire was declared out. Work to install new water lines on East 7th Street began last night. The road work will continue for at least the next 2 weeks from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., weather permitting. The road work will take place between St. Louis Avenue and Florida Avenue. This section of the road and side streets will be closed to all traffic, and drivers are advised to find alternate routes. This project is part of the ongoing infrastructure improvements in the city. You'll see new hydrants as part of the above-ground improvements. Some Carthage community members are voicing support for the Carthage mayor and city administrator after the city council discussed their removal. Earlier this month, the council made a vote of no confidence in Mayor Dan Reif. The council also voted to dismiss city administrator Greg Dagnan, but the mayor says the motion requires his vote, something he will not approve. Council members who voted for the removal of the two officials say there is a mistrust. Since the council votes, city employees and community members have voiced their support for the mayor and city administrator. A number of people in the community have distributed a letter by email that says they are in support of immediate suspension of all proceedings leading to the removal of the two city officials.
Great. I mean, of course it feels good to know that, you know, there are a lot of folks out there that do support us and do see the positive changes that have happened in the last few years, and want to see that continue.
We've reached out to every Carthage City Council member. Council members Lori Lease and Alan Snow are the only to respond. Lease says she wishes to receive all the facts before making a decision about the removal of the mayor and city administrator. Snow says he has lost trust in the mayor and city manager. You can read his full statement on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. As people across the country celebrated Earth Day yesterday, the Webb City Public Library helped patrons develop their own green thumbs. The library has more than just books, opening up a seed library for the first time this year. Seed companies and library patrons have donated seeds, and the public is free to pick out whatever they'd like. Available seeds include various types of produce, flowers, and herbs. The seed library organizer says it offers an opportunity for the public to try out gardening.
I also know there's a lot of people that want to spend money on gardens and stuff, but it gets really expensive when you want to do that, and some people just can't get started. It's worth it if you can do it, but when you can't get started, and people can just come in here and get what they need.
The library hopes people turn in seeds from their own crops at the end of the season. They hope that by doing so, the seed library will create a cycle of growth for the community to enjoy in future years. The city of Fort Scott now has a new entranceway to its historic downtown. The Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce yesterday hosted a ribbon cutting for the new downtown arch. It was paid for with grants from the Patterson Family Foundation and Blue Cross Blue Shield. The event also serves as a kickoff for the downtown cleanup project.
The community members were so important. They were a part of every decision. We had a steering committee of community members that were able to completely draft up the design and see it through.
What this does is recognizes that health in a community is really about quality of life. And so this initiative, they work with community members to identify what the community members would like to see that makes their community inviting and a great place to live.
The chamber also gave away camping chairs and a fire pit at the event. Now let's head over to Lindsay with a quick look at weather.
Well, clouds do start to increase ahead of that cold front that's moving in later on this afternoon. We're going to see a few isolated showers with that, but the main threat for thunderstorms still stays east of our region. So today, just expect a few isolated showers earlier this afternoon, anywhere from 12 to about 4 p.m. today. Then shower chances continue on in the southern counties this evening, and we'll get more shower chances and thunderstorm chances in the early hours on Wednesday. Those continue on till later morning Wednesday as well. A lot of rain in the forecast. This continues on all the way through Sunday, but main threat for severe weather still stays for the weekend. Just for today, few isolated showers, mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures getting up to the mid to lower 70s today. Overall, a decent day, but don't be surprised if you see a few showers as well in the early afternoon hours. Those will continue on to the southern counties with that front stalling out in the southern counties as well. But other than that, no threat for severe weather today, and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Charlene Patton shows Chris how to create a soy-based salad. But first, here's a live look from Cunningham Park for National Picnic Day at the park.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets comfort. Step into a world of with us at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor and give your home the makeover it deserves.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. And again, our good friend Charlene Patton joining us from the Kansas Soybean Commission all the way down from Topeka. Had a lot of great stuff. You've got a new great book out that folks can order. A lot of great recipes in it. This one, not necessarily from that book, but that still doesn't mean it's not a great recipe.
Oh, that's right. But we do want them to order the Soy Foods Guide.
Absolutely.
It's the 2024 version, and it is filled with recipes and information. And 3 of the recipes in there were selected from the Kansas Soybean Commission. So they're recipes we've done with you.
All
so
right.
Yes. Okay, so this is a kale, edamame, and quinoa salad. And I've already cooked the edamame. We want 2 cups of that in here. And you are going to add the soybeans here the edamame.
Okay.
So can you add those? I've already cooked those ahead of time. And one of the great things about purchasing it, if you get it frozen in the grocery store now, you can put that plastic container right in the microwave. Cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the wattage of your microwave. And so you don't even have to get another pan out.
Okay,
just do that, cool it, and add it to that. Now you're going to add the kale.
All right.
And this recipe suggests that you take the ribs off of there. So it's just the leaves that we're going to have in there.
Okay.
And I'll stir that up. Now you have tomatoes.
We do.
And those are the grape tomatoes. I've just have those. You can see we have lots of great color in
Yes,
here.
we do. I was noticing that just even from the beginning, the colors were already taking shape.
That's right. Now we're going to add a little extra flavor, and you have some onion. This is a ½ a cup of chopped onion. I chose the red onion this time because I thought, okay, that's going to give us another little color here.
Yes.
But you could use a yellow, white onion, green onion, whatever you wanted to do. Now, the last container there that you have is dried cranberries.
Okay.
So we'll put those in here. There you go. Let that kind of mix in. And then you have our dressing over there. I've already put all the ingredients in there. You can kind of mix it up. It is our vegetable oil, and we know that that's only soybean oil, right? And we have some fresh lemon juice, a little bit of mustard, and then I also grated a little bit of lemon zest to that too. So you can pour that over that.
Okay.
Great. I love this container. It makes it easy to measure. We'll mix that together. Look how nice that looks.
Okay.
Great. We'll just do that. And then our last little addition to this recipe after we mix this together, I'll give that to you, is a little bit of the pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
And you can just sprinkle those on top there. Great. It gives it a little bit of extra crunch that you have there.
Yeah.
And I'll just show how nice that looks.
That is,
I tell you,
really good.
A really fresh and a refreshing salad to have for spring, for April. And they can get the recipe at kansassoybeans.org or go to our website at Kansas Soybeans or call our 800 number at 877-KS Soybean.
All right. And of course, if you missed any of it, don't worry. It'll also be on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Charlene, thanks so much for coming down again. And I know you've got more amazing things to show us. And she'll be back next week with another amazing recipe. And we will be right back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Oklahoma.
Gorgeous start this morning. We had a really nice sunrise. Clouds do start to increase ahead of that cold front we have moving in, but for the time being, we're off to a really nice Tuesday morning out in 7th and Range Line. Now, yesterday we started off cooler than we did today, with our low being around 37 degrees. We also had a frost advisory issued as well. So yesterday was pretty chilly in the morning, but we did warm up to the 70s, and we do that again today. But we started off a lot warmer, 20 degrees warmer. Now, currently out in Nevada, 58, Chanute still 58 as well. So we're warming up slowly but surely into the upper 50s, but we will start to warm up into the lower 70s for our high today. Now, winds continue to pick up about 25-30 miles per hour this morning. They'll start to die down a little bit after 11 a.m. Then we see that cold front make its way through. The winds will die down quite drastically as they move out of the north right after that cold front. Now, we are expecting a few isolated showers, especially in our northeastern counties, but main threat for thunderstorms still off to the east. But if you look out just northwest of us, we see a few showers that are developing, a few isolated thunderstorms as well. We could still see some of those moving into our northern counties, although mostly just expecting some clouds right now. A little bit later on, early this afternoon, that's when we're going to see those showers pushing through. This front will make its way, and as it reaches our southern counties, it'll stall out. That'll give us more rain showers in the southern counties later on this evening. Starting your morning off, it'll be about 57 degrees out in Joplin and surrounding counties, upper 50s and lower 60s. Clouds do continue to increase throughout the day. Winds are about 15-20, gusting up to 25 miles per hour to the south. We move into later on this afternoon. We warm up to the lower 70s, but we do expect to see a few isolated showers. That's right along that frontal boundary that'll be passing through. After that, winds shift out of the north and they'll lighten up a lot. Well, we can expect around 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. possibly those isolated showers to be moving through the area, and they'll continue to move southeast. And after that, another round of showers again tomorrow morning, and thunderstorms start to push in Thursday and continuing on this afternoon. We'll see that frontal boundary pass right around noon, moving into the northern counties. It'll continue on, and main threat for thunderstorms still east of us, but we do see few showers in our eastern counties. That's where the frontal boundary stalls out, and we'll have those showers sticking around later on this evening, around 10 to 11 p.m. tonight, and then we'll get more shower chances early in the morning on Wednesday. We have a possible alert day for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll continue to update you as we get a little closer to that event for severity and timing. Now over to Consumer Watch with Elise.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The Federal Trade Commission is blocking an acquisition involving two luxury fashion brands. The FTC says it will sue to block Tapestry Incorporated's $8.5 billion purchase of Capri Holdings. The agency says that the deal would eliminate competition between the fashion company's brands. The agency also says the deal could weaken employees' wages and workplace benefits. The companies say they will, quote, vigorously defend against the case. And Amazon is launching a Prime Air drone delivery location in Tolleson, Arizona. The new location is expected to provide same-day deliveries to people living in the West Valley area of Phoenix. Amazon also announced it will close down one of its other drone facilities in Lockport, California. The company expects to begin drone delivery operations in Arizona starting later this year. Those are our top Consumer Watch stories this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
is giving away big casino cash and Go Rewards prizes all month.
Counts for 6. Takes on Arlington. Touchdown! The United Football League. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Well, scientists say climate change is threatening the world's largest trees. The giant sequoias native to California are endangered.
But as Ian Lee shows us, the mighty trees are flourishing across the pond.
You can't miss these majestic trees, giant sequoias towering over the surrounding landscape. But this isn't California, it's the English countryside.
Yeah, the trees here, they're very popular.
Scientist Phil Wilkes monitors the monsters outside of London, measuring the trees with a laser.
You can then estimate how much carbon is stored in the tree.
The average giant sequoia pulls roughly 190 pounds of carbon out of the air every year, offsetting about 800 miles in a gas-powered car. Phil then compares the giant sequoia's growth to their American cousins.
How do these trees stack up to their relatives in the States?
They're doing surprisingly well, actually. These trees are relatively young, so they're mere saplings compared to the trees in the States. These trees are probably 110 years old.
Giant sequoias can live more than 3,000 years and soar nearly 300 feet in the air. But experts say wildfires and climate change are threatening their native habitat. That's not a problem here in the UK.
Most people, though, don't think of California and the UK having the same climate.
Sierra Nevada mountains can be quite similar to here, so it's cooler and it's more damp, and that's very British weather.
Today, more than 500,000 giant sequoias are thriving in the UK, compared to fewer than 80,000 in the US.
We're very happy to have a tree like that here. We associate them with your fine country, and it's lovely to have them here.
If you run out of them, then we can always give you a few back, can't we? Because we're cousins after all.
Giving an American icon a safe home away from home.
Giant sequoias became popular during the Victorian era when scientists brought them to the UK because people couldn't believe their size.
Well, that is pretty cool. I love nature.
Yes, it's great it's really interesting that they're thriving over there, and hopefully we can make them not endangered over
environment
here.
A little bit better in our area.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, what you can expect for the next couple of days. Today, a few isolated showers early this afternoon, and they'll return again later this evening in the southern counties. Now, more rain pushes in on the western counties early Wednesday morning. May see a few isolated thunderstorms as well early in the morning. After that, main threat for severe weather not until Thursday and Friday. We've got a possible alert day for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that will continue to update you on that as we get a little bit closer to the event and know about severity and timing for that.
Dear road rivals, medals including 3 Good Conduct medals. We are proud to salute Terry Warner, a 4-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Some Carthage community members are voicing support for the Carthage mayor and city administrator. Earlier this month, the council made a vote of no confidence in Mayor Dan Reith and to dismiss city administrator Greg Dagnan. A number of people in the community have distributed a letter by email that says they are in support of immediate suspension of all proceedings leading to the removal of the 2 city officials. A group of community members in Lamar, Missouri met yesterday to develop a plan to save the Lamar Aquatic Park. The city of Lamar announced last month that they will start taking bids for the removal of the park, and the community members plan to present their plan to the city. No decision has been made by the city on what will happen to the facility. And Upright House Ministries is building a sober living home for men on Park Avenue in Baxter Springs, Kansas. The Christian nonprofit organization plans to house 6 men who are serious about living sober. One neighbor is concerned about the location as the home is 300 feet from a school and a 3-minute walk from a restaurant and bar. The concerned residents plan to speak at the city council meeting today at 7 p.m.
Now, we are expecting a few isolated showers early this afternoon. They'll continue on as that cold front stalls out in our southern counties. We'll get rain chances in the south. Then early morning on Wednesday. More showers push into the western counties, and we'll see a few isolated thunderstorms as well. Those continue well into the morning on Wednesday, so you can plan for that as you're heading out the door in the morning as well. Now we'll have more updates for that system early tomorrow morning. You can join us for that and more as well.
Absolutely. We definitely need some rain. I wish it wasn't severe weather. I understand that it's during the season, but I wish we wouldn't have it.
Well, for the next couple of days, just some showers
yes.
and, you know, a few thunderstorms, but we do have a severe weather threat for this weekend, and it could be pretty bad. We're still a little unsure of the severity of it, but we could expect tornadoes and, you know, hail and fast winds and heavy rain this weekend. So we do have that possible alert day.
Alrighty. Well, the Cincinnati Zoo released adorable footage showing a baby bat-eared fox playing with stuffed animals and other toys. It's always playtime for the bat-eared fox kit, the source wrote on X.
The bat-eared fox is a male and was born earlier in April. The Cincinnati Zoo said the fox turned 16 days old on April 21st.
How cute is that?
It's
Look
adorable.
at that little guy go. Oh my goodness. I don't know how good foxes are for pets, but oh my goodness, if I could take one home with me, I would.
Oh my gosh, look how cute it is. Yeah, I would too. I'm a big animal lover. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning, and we'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.